Welcome to the Caribbean Vegan Foodie. I am Cam Campbell, your island guide. Today we're taking a trip to Haiti. Yes! We're making some Haitian SOS PWA NWA, which is black bean sauce, and some MAYI MOULin, which is cornmeal. And sorry for my bad pronunciation. I am just a Jamaican girl trying a thing. But before we get into the video, please remember to like, share, subscribe. Let's go.
Can you feel the vibe? Give me that beat.
Let's get into the video. So we're starting off by making our SOS PWA NWA, which is our black bean sauce. And here are the simple ingredients that you're going to need to make it. The first ingredients on our list is black bean. Yes, so I use fresh black bean, which I soaked dried beans from overnight, and the following day I just boiled in water until it's soft. And voila, there I have fresh black beans. But if it's easier for you, you can always use canned bean. And please remember to reserve the water, reserve that liquid from the bean, because we're also going to need it for this recipe. Moving on to the cooking stage. Yes, so the second step in making our SOS PWA NWA, I just love saying these words. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I just love it. After we boil our bean and we prep our beans, we're going to separate the bean from the liquid. But if you're using can, you're just going to drain the bean and reserve the liquid. So moving on, we're using a blender. We're going to puree a portion of the beans with the reserved liquid. So I'm setting aside about 3/4 cup of the beans for later use. So overall, I'm using 4 cups of bean. And the amount of liquid that I'm using is 5 cups. But if you're using can and you do not have that much liquid from the can, you can always use water. After the beans are pureed, the next step, I'm gonna put it out there. This step is optional. You don't have to do this step. You can always bypass it and move on to the next step. So you're gonna run the puree through a strainer, and this step is basically removing the little tiny piece of the skin from the bean from the sauce, so that you have a purer and smoother SOS PWA NWA. But I'm telling you, while I was running this puree through the strainer, I was like, girl, what are you doing? You could have skipped this step. But I started and I had to finish it. This is just a speed up part and a little portion of what I did, but it took a while for me to run it all through, and you can skip it. Just skip it and move on to the next step. That's how nice and smooth it looked after you run it through the strainer. So I guess it's not a bad step, it's just that it's a little time consuming. You're going to add some coconut oil to a saucepan or whatever oil you use. After your oil is hot, you want to add your onion and your thyme, and you're going to saute those for a couple minutes until the onion is soft and translucent. And after which, you're going to add your garlic, your green onion, your pepper, your crushed clove, and saute those. And I'm using Scotch bonnet pepper here, but you're free to use some black pepper or some cayenne pepper, or just omit the pepper if you are not one that likes spicy food. Personally, I don't use black pepper, so in most of my dish, if not all, I'm going to be using scotch bonnet pepper. And I love scotch bonnet pepper. Yeah, I like spicy food. Then we're going to add in our baked beans. And we're going to get those sauteed and nice. And then we're going to add in our vegetable cube. We're just using one. You want to crush that out and add it to your beans. So we're mixing that all in, and then we're going to add our puree. Yes, look how beautiful it looks. It is so pure and smooth. After all, I think the straining was worth it. Nah, I won't be straining the next time I make this. But it looked beautiful and the dish is coming together. And we're going to mix that all in, and then we're going to add our coconut milk. Yes, and we're going to mix it all in. And don't worry about the color. The color will work itself out and we'll get the beautiful color that we need in our black bean sauce. Now we're going to let the beans simmer on low heat for about 10 to 15 minutes until the sauce gets thick. And one of the most important advice I can give everyone is to taste. Taste your food, man. Just taste a little bit. If it needs a little more salt, you can add some. If a little more pepper, whatever it needs, you can adjust the season as you go along. And by the way, this is how us Caribbean folks taste food. So don't worry about my hand, me putting hot food in my hand. This is how we taste because we never put the spoon in our mouth. With our SOS PWA NWA ready, we're going to move on to making our MAYI MOULIN. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But it's basically cornmeal, and this is a nice, amazing dish that go with our black bean sauce. But you can always have your sauce with some rice. But today we're gonna have it with this, and here are the ingredients that we're gonna need for it. So we're starting off by adding some oil. I'm using coconut oil. You can use whatever oil you like, and we're going to let it heat. And then we're going to add some onion. Yes, we're adding some onion, and we're going to let that saute until it's soft and nice. Next, we're going to add our garlic, our green onion, our pepper. Again, I'm using some hot pepper, but you can always use some black pepper. You're gonna saute those up, and then we're gonna add in our salt. I like adding my salt in the beginning. Just add that in, saute it in, and then we're going to add our vegetable cube. We're using one vegetable cube, and for this you can always use vegetable broth, liquid broth, and omit the water and the cube. But I'm gonna mix that all in, get it all in, and then afterward I'm going to add my water. Bring to a boil and ensure that the vegetable cube has been dissolved. Taste. You know how important taste is to good cooking. So taste, and adjust the seasoning if need be. Now we're going to add in our cornmeal, and I'm using a fine-grained cornmeal, but typically a coarse cornmeal is what they use for this dish. This is what I had, so this is the cornmeal that I'm using right now. So this dish is similar to polenta or grits, and for my Caribbean folks, what Jamaicans will call turn cornmeal or tonka meal, or what the Leeward Islands will call cuckoo. Cook your cornmeal for about 15 to 20 minutes. stirring and adding water continuously because you don't want your cornmeal to burn or to dry out. So your cornmeal should be smooth and thick, not runny or grainy. So play around with it until you reach the consistency that you like. So if you want it to be a little bit more thinner, you can add more water. If you want it to be a little thicker, you can let it cook a little bit longer. So this is your finished MAYI MOULIN, and this can be eaten by itself, which I had left over that I had the following day and its own, or you can have it with the bean sauce. Yes, there you have it, the SOS PWA NWA and the MAYI MOULIN together. And if any Haitian watch this video, tell me how I did with the pronunciation. Help a sister out. Thank you for watching Caribbean Vegan Foodie. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend and tell the next friend. Until next time, what good.